I'm human, so I'm playing. Not necessarily video games, although they are certainly my favorite, but our species has an inherent play drive. We just can't help it. Before I dive straight into a pile of history and psychology, if you enjoy my videos, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new ones. Also, I always appreciate feedback, so feel free to leave some in the comments down below. With that being said, back to topic. Games exist pretty much as long as humanity exists. Although our prehistoric ancestors obviously didn't start up their high-tech PCs and went to town in a match of Fortnite. But in the Iran, for example, archaeologists actually found dice dating back about 3,000 years. Ancient texts from Asia describe dice-like items, and even Egyptian murals depict games. Historians speculate that the strategic board game we know as Go was first mentioned in the Chinese, and I hope I'm saying this at least somewhat correctly, Xiuzhen Chronicles, from 400 BC. Every civilization played, from the Aztec origins of the Mesoamerican ball game, which is actually the oldest sport that is still played today, to dice-throwing Roman soldiers. Playing promotes unity and makes you feel like part of a community. Although that might seem a tad unbelievable if you look at the, let's say, not so nice things being thrown around in the chat of modern online games, like League of Legends. Research tends to focus on the negative impact gaming has on your health. Comparatively, few studies actually try to highlight that gaming can also be good for its players. Those two extremes aside, there are also some neutral papers whose writers analyzed why we want to play all day. American social scientist Nick Yee, for example, identified three main components in his essay about the motivation behind MMOs: success, sociality, and immersion. Let's go through this one by one. Success is all about progressing in a game, interest in the rules and mechanics, and the urge to compare yourself to and compete with others. Being part of a guild, communicating through chat functions, helping your fellow players. All of that is part of the social component. That leaves immersion. Immersion is all about building a character, slipping into a role that might be the complete opposite to what you're doing and what you are in real life. It revolves around the wish to escape from reality. A different study by Elizabeth Boyle, Thomas Connolly, and Thomas Haney took a closer look at the role of psychology in understanding the impact of computer games. Under consideration of the so-called self-determination theory, they found additional motivational factors. The theory says that human behavior is always powered by the wish for independence, ability, and connectivity. If something manages to appease all three of those cravings, we like it. A lot. And video games often manage this feat pretty easily. Ability is being fulfilled through something psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi defined as flow back in 1975. I hope I didn't butcher that name too much. It's this feeling of intense focus on an activity that leads to satisfaction and enjoyment. And good games do a remarkable job at making you feel this way, finding that perfect balance between being challenging enough not to get boring, but also easy enough to still be fun. Independence and connectivity are less abstract. You have more control over what you're doing in most games than you have in real life. And it's also your own decision whether you want to spend time in the virtual world at all. And although the cliché of a single antisocial basement dweller gamer still exists, video games connect all of its users, either in the literal sense of multiplayer games or through the knowledge that you're definitely not the only person enjoying this hobby. Over the past couple years, a big change took place. Yes, the killer game and the waste of time debates are still not dead yet, but society is now far more open towards the topic in general. Video games are no longer only entertainment, although that's obviously still a big part. No other area could benefit more from it than education, and successful steps are taken to use games, or at least gamification, in schools worldwide. It can also help you get healthier, as I covered in my last video about Pokémon Go. And it doesn't stop there. Virtual reality, as you can experience it through headsets like the HTC Vive or Oculus Rift, is for example already part of the therapy of phobias. And research also shows that gamers have an improved eye-hand coordination and spatial imagination. We might have had to listen to our parents warning us about the lack of fresh air or square eyes, but it seems like science is actually proving that gaming isn't that stupid after all. Video games not only allow us to take a break from our daily life, they also make our lives a bit better. And gaming is not something new. Humanity always played, and it's just the medium that changed slightly. That's all for today. Hope your day's as good as gold. See you next time!